Hey, Pastor Josh here. We're reading Acts chapter 16, verses 6 through 10. And don't you dare walk through a closed door. Why would you walk through a closed door? That would seem silly. You would hit yourself. You can't get through a closed door, right? Now, when I'm talking about don't walk through a closed door, I am talking about an old phrase that Christians will often talk about. They will talk about God opening doors and they will talk about God closing doors. And sometimes our circumstances dictate that we cannot do what we want to do. Even though it may seem like a very, very, very good thing that we want to do, we are not able to do that providentially, as the old Puritans would say. Providentially, the old theologians would say, God has hindered us. He has providentially hindered us from doing it. God, circumstances has caused us not to be able to do it, even though it is a good thing. So Christians throughout the generations have talked about God closing the door, and that if God has closed it, then we should not open it. But then there are other places where circumstances seem that there's an open door. And so we don't need to force our way through closed doors. If circumstances just seem to keep saying, no, 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 we don't need to push on it. God has a reason. We need to look for the open door that the Lord has provided. And the Apostle Paul is encountering his own open door issue today, or closed door issue, and he actually tries to go through the closed door. And they went through the region of Phrygia and Galatia, so they're going deeper up into the area, and they were wanting to go over to Asia, but they were forbidden by the Holy Spirit to speak the word in Asia. Now, we don't know exactly what this means, but I'm assuming it is providentially, circumstantially, things are happening that they are just not able to get to Asia. They're not able to go through it. They're prevented to go to Asia. Verse 7, when they had come up to Mysia, they attempted to go to Bithynia. But again, there's another closed door. The Spirit of Jesus did not allow it. God is closing doors circumstantially. No, we can't get into this area. And I know you are able to you are able to empathize with this situation. I'm sure you've had plenty of times in your life when you have tried to do something and you know it was a good thing, but you just couldn't get it done. It just wouldn't happen. You need to look at that as the Lord closing doors. He is the sovereign Lord over everything. He closes doors, He opens doors, and don't try to go through those closed doors. So Paul, verse 8, so passing by Mysia, they went down to Troas, and a vision appeared to Paul in the night. A man of Macedonia was standing there, urging him and saying, "Come over to Macedonia and help us." And I have that here as a command for us to obey. Come over to Macedonia and help us. Not that we should necessarily go over to Macedonia and help the Macedonians, even though that would be a great thing to do if you were called to do that, but that we should always be thinking, how can we help the people around us? And if we are provided with an opportunity to help a person, then we should do it. Circumstantially, if we're able to help, why not do it? If your time allows you and you are not shirking other responsibilities, then why not do it? If you can do it, if you have the skills and the abilities to do it, we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So he sees this vision. So it's a very miraculous thing here. Paul's sleeping. He sees a Macedonian man saying, "Come over and help us." And so when Paul had seen the vision, immediately he sought to go on into Macedonia, concluding that the Lord has called us to preach the gospel to them. Notice, what did we see here? We have this change. We have an us. And I do not think we've seen that before. And when they had come up to Mysia, so passing by Mysia, they went down to Troas, and a vision appeared to Paul in the night. And when Paul had seen the vision, immediately so you see, now the writer of Acts has now joined the Apostle Paul. And where has he joined him? When he came down to Troas. So Luke, the physician, either becomes a Christian in Troas, he joins, whatever it is, he joins the Apostle Paul's team here in Troas. And Luke now is going to be journeying along with Paul, giving us kind of a first person encounter information. So, a little change there that you see. We are now in the, what would it be, second person plural, or is that third person plural? Anyway, it is us. We're doing it all together. And now Luke has now joined this entourage, the one that wrote the book of Acts and the Gospel of Luke. Both Luke would have been one, along with Timothy, that Paul would have mentored as he has continued to do. So don't run through those closed doors. Look for those open doors that the Lord will provide. I pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.